but as always, feel free to ask questions and keep it an open dialogue. So, Brad?
Perfect. Thank you, Gary. And thank you, everyone, also for braving. I braved it up from Cincinnati and made it just in time, so it worked out well. Yes, yeah. Roads were a little crazy in Columbus, but it got better as it went along. But I understand later today could be even a little bit more interesting. So I work with advisors and firms for Gary, and basically what I think we do really well is help advisors and clients work better together, okay? And I apologize, I have to be behind you, but we've got this cable that we had to utilize to make this work right. The client and advisor relationship is constantly changing. As you guys know, in your homes, your home life technology and what you're using today to communicate with your family and friends is changing also and constantly evolving. I know that at home, between Netflix and my kids being on Snapchat and Facebook and all that, the way that we converse with each other on a personal level is changing. And at our company, we feel that it's important in the advisor and client relationship with your firm to constantly keep a better open line of communication. So we were started 16 years ago by an advisor to look to really deepen that relationship. He was a 20-year, he was in the advisory world for 20 plus years. And what he felt, there's some inefficiencies that he had in communicating with his clients. And on a side note too, he was kind of a guy's guy, and he felt that he got along really well with his male clients and not so much with his female clients, and he wanted to provide more to that relationship. And so he developed this tool called eMoney at the time, and we really want to help advisors and the client relationship. That's really our goal. And behind the scenes, it's an amazing financial planning engine, but our focus today is really to talk about what could be offered to you guys, and as Gary's labeling it, the Carnegie Wealth Portal Station? View, Carnegie WealthView. And we really love that they really brand it with their own. So what we're looking at, so I know that there's a lot of assets that you guys hold custody at Schwab, okay? But there might be cases, some of you that might still be working, a 401k, bank accounts, things like that. eMoney helps bring all of that together and so much more. And we'll go through a really light demo, and please don't hesitate to ask questions as we go through this. It's an incredibly unique tool, and we're really the fastest growing in our space for sure. So when you guys log in, we have given Carnegie its own branded URL, their own secure URL, where you guys can go in. They would create credentials for you, your own personal credentials, and they help connect to everything that they already manage, okay? Anything that's managed for you guys will be pulled into this system. Inevitably, what happened with eMoney is our CEO at the time was doing incredibly deep, very deep financial planning, especially on the cash flow side, okay? Doing a lot of estate planning as well. And what was frustrating to him was the process, the time that it took, not only for you guys to prepare all that information, but also really on the advisor side. You guys are both busy, both at the firm level and clients, and being able to get this information over to the firm in a timely manner was very, very difficult. He knew it. He knew that many of his clients had accounts at Merrill Lynch or Fidelity or a 401k or what have you, or a very large trust account at the bank. What this helped him do was centralize everything securely in one spot. Okay? Have any of you guys used QuickBooks or Mint? Mint has been around for a while. This is the advisor's version of that at a much more secure level, and we don't share third-party information. So keep that in mind as well as you look through this. So obviously a bank that I've banked at since I was 14 years old, and maybe one that some of you might have some money at, Fifth Third Bank. So what eMoney does, is it helps to connect, again, not only the stuff that they manage here, but everything that might be held away as well. A bank account, securely enter your information, user ID and password. Maybe if there's an account held away, something that you dabble on your own, whatever it might be. We all have reasons for why we do things and what we do. Wherever it is, whatever it is, eMoney can connect to that asset and that liability for that matter. eMoney also does wealth budgeting. You can also do it at the budgeting level. So with the Carnegie Wealth tool, you guys are able to bring in any of those assets all in one spot. Okay? Going to pause real quickly. Does this area make sense to you here? Yep. And a lot of tools like, yes, sir.
Give us a big picture. Where does this application come from? I mean,
Our company, eMoney, we've been around for 16 years, so we developed this platform for advisors and for advisors
for
only.
us, where would I get this platform if I wanted to use it?
Yeah, from advisors only. Advisors purchase the software and then give it to their end client users.
So we would get it
Clients,
from Carnegie.
yes, that is correct. Yep.
And do we just give them a web address to go to?
Yes, sir.
Carnegie gives, yeah.
It's your own branded URL.
Is there a fee involved?
No. No, we elected not to charge a fee for it.
Is it ready yet?
It is, it's live. Just, I'll give you information afterwards to,
Yep.
how we can get that set up.
So when it comes, and what you're seeing right now, this term is called aggregation. Aggregation's been around for a while, and we were the first to really pioneer doing aggregation and financial planning into one spot. And what that did is it ramped up not only the efficiency at the firm level for the folks like Carnegie and others, but we also found that the client value add spiked up dramatically. Clients really love it. They tend to log in regularly. Now you're not having to log in here and in here and go to my credit card and go to my mortgage and go to my checking account and go to all these places. From the airport, from your vacation home in Hilton Head, from wherever you are, you can see everything in one spot. In addition, eMoney can also allow you to manually enter whatever you want in the system as well. So whatever that may be, if we don't have a connection to that firm, that institution, you can easily manually add it into the system also. So that can be done at that level also. We have about 25,000 different institutions that we connect to. I'd be very shocked if we don't have that built for you. But please know that that capability, you can always contact us via Carnegie to say, please connect to this police and fireman credit union or small credit union up here in, Westlake, Ohio. Okay? In addition, what we also allow you to do, again, we need to continue to ramp up the experience. We meaning advisors to you guys. And so the value of this to you is you also have the ability to add information about yourself via our online fact finder. Now keep in mind that the firm can also do this for you so that you don't have to do it. This is a interactive system where you can share this information back and forth. But if you wanted to enter the information, you can. If at Carnegie, their inside folks and planners and financial advisors did this for you, it would already show up for you as well. But again, this starts dabbling into learning a little bit more about yourself. So again, they could potentially do a financial projection for you for future.
Can the investment advisor get into this?
Yes, they can. They would be able to, there's an advisor side to this system, and there are areas of the system that they can keep private from you, and I'll share that with you as we go along. But they cannot,
From us, but we can't keep anything private from them.
there is some areas of the system that you can keep private from them. Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. And I'll get to that in just a moment. Okay? On the workshop side of things, again, you could be logging in from your home and wanting to go out and do a retirement workshop. These are nice little calculators that you can do on your own. Again, we want to have the capabilities to give you that all-in-one spot place. If you're thinking about grandkids' retirement or your own children, excuse me, their education. There's workshops to do an education analysis, again, based on current projections, things like that. We have a lot of the main colleges around the country built into the system, so you can see what that goal might look like, again, for your kids, grandkids, things like that. So a nice workshop area built into this system. And know at any time, if you had questions, you could always contact the advisor that you're working with directly and ask them any sort of questions. This is one tab in the system that you can absolutely keep private from the advisor, the spending and budgeting tool. So keep in mind that eMoney does have the ability to pull in liabilities if you choose to do so. Again, know that the system's not just going to pull in things unless you authorize to do so. This would be one area that you can, again, keep private if you'd like to. eMoney can pull in credit card information, home loans, things like that. Again, working with a financial advisor, they're going to inevitably ask about these things. You can put them all in one spot, but this is an area that you can absolutely, completely hide from them if you don't choose to do so. Okay? So very similar to QuickBooks or Quicken, you can change categorizations. You can add new budget line items, create your own auto budget. Again, just a nice little, another arrow for you guys to utilize inside this portal. Okay? And the system's kind of smart if you want to learn more about personal finance. Not saying that all of you would need to. You can, of course, go into the Education Center. This is the area that I really like in the system, too. I was an advisor once, and I can't tell you how many times clients brought in statements to me from either their 401k or other accounts that they had, maybe a rollover from a previous employer, something like that. And I always thought there's got to be a more efficient way. This was about 8 years ago when I was an advisor with my father. So a really good way for you guys to work in conjunction together to, again, maybe see the things that you guys are having managed here or anything that might be held away as well. We would pull up all the holdings, all the details, and again, that way they can offer any sort of advice, or you guys can just simply see those accounts at a moment's notice at any time. Okay? We did also build in a research tool into eMoney, Morningstar Research, so that way you could go in and see how your favorite stocks, funds, anything like that are doing at a moment's notice. Okay? One of the really interesting features of eMoney, and especially when it comes to working with the spouse and the children, this is probably one of the most important tabs in my mind that's going to benefit you guys, is the vault. The vault is the area where you can upload your wills and your trusts, powers of attorney, deeds to land, life insurance documents. Kind of call it that safe deposit box online. What we hear from advisors, there's many stories that we get from advisors working with clients, and then coming in one day and one or the other comes in and says, I've got terrible news. My spouse passed away, and I have no idea where anything is. I have a general idea, but I don't know. Or that day where that widower comes and says, getting old, I need to let my kids know where everything is. So this is a spot in the system where you can create customized folders, and yes, you can create a private folder as well to put your own documentation to, again, share with your kids. And what's nice is you can share a view with the children in your life or trustees, power of attorneys, anything like that.
Once you share with somebody, can they see everything, or can you be selective of who can see what?
Once you share it with that person, they will see that, but you could select what items you want to see. So another really neat feature of this, and this brings up a great point, what if you wanted to grant your CPA or your lawyer so they could help upload those documents for you? Those are typically pretty robust documents. You can actually share that view with your lawyer, with the talks of everyone here at Carnegie as well. Say, hey, I'd like to do that, but I only want to give them one folder and these specific reports, et cetera, and I actually want to customize the view, so you could do that as well. Great question. Okay. The report side, not going to spend a ton of time on this, but if you guys typically ask for regular reports here at the firm, whether it's a balance sheet, a net worth statement, I don't know the background of any of you, but if you're a business owner, there's a great statement of assets and liabilities report in here. You can get life insurance summaries. There's lots of great reports that they could share over to you. Again, we find very much that clients that have things, not only in one location, you might have a ton of your assets here already, but scattered, want to know at a moment's notice where everything is. How much am I worth? I mean, people want to know what does everything look like. So this is a great area of the system. Remember, because we do the aggregation, we're feeding in all these numbers daily, so all the reports would be live for you. Okay? We have to understand too, in this world of technology, if you needed some help right here at the home office, you can actually screen share with them, or they could initiate a screen sharing session. If you guys were inside this tool and having trouble connecting to something, we built a screen sharing app right inside the tool. And what's nice security-wise, it only stays inside that tool, so it doesn't wander off, and it sticks on you as a client. So again, meetings of tomorrow are changing very quickly. We always want to have the greatest technology for clients and advisors to meet. So we have this screen sharing tool built right into the system. Yes, sir?
Who can you share your screen with?
Just your advisor here at the home office.
Only with your advisor?
Yes.
Not with anybody else, like your son or anything?
Correct. Again, because this tool is built into here, again, there's other tools like GoToMeeting, but we're trying to strengthen that relationship for you guys. Now, to answer your question on your son, you could authorize them here together and say, you know what? There's days where I'm busy and he or she is going to be the trustee or my POA. I want to give them this view. You could give them their own separate login and actually customize that login to their level. So that would be a great way to do that. But the screen sharing tool is directly to the advisor on the application and you guys. Good question.
Well, but earlier you were showing us how you could invite people in.
And
Pictures of children and...
oh, that's just adding people into the organizer. That's just adding facts about yourself.
Oh, that wasn't adding...
Yeah, you're not necessarily adding them as an invite.
So the only way to, have somebody else that has access to this is go through the investment advisor?
Correct. Talk with them and say, hey, I would like to share this, and I authorize you to do this. So we really do give them the controls, but from your point of view. Yes?
So will the investments, the Carnegie investments, will they be real time? How real time will they be?
It's up to you guys. Do you like to see intraday quotes? They can actually turn on intraday quotes. There'll be about 15-20 minute delay if you choose that. Keep in mind, if you have a pool of mutual funds, those don't settle until later in the day.
But
If they're
day to
doing a
day,
lot.
like-
Yep, day to day. They would be
Okay.
up to date every single day for you. Yep. Yes, ma'am.
Is the server that is hosting this online information, is that server here in the building?
No, ma'am. We actually host all of our data and send it to a secure location with a company called SunGuard. If you're not familiar with them, they're very, very good at what they do. They take care of about $15 trillion of the world's financial transactions every day. It counts for about 70%. So this is a nice little data sheet that advisors do share with clients when they have questions on security. Also another...
Where is that? Is that in the
Multiple
United States?
locations all over the U.S. Yes, ma'am.
In the US, but not
Yes.
anywhere outside
No,
the
ma'am.
United States?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
We also do something that's really unique. It's kind of funny when you talk about it, but it's incredibly important because we're living in a really weird time, right? We don't pay one company, we don't pay two, we actually pay 3 companies to actually try to hack into our system continuously throughout the day. And that's shown down at the bottom right-hand corner. Trace, Tenable, and White Hat. Those are names, again, if you've had any tech background, they're big in their space. A funny story, a gentleman that had a son working at VeriSign was being encouraged by their advisor, hey, I want you to get on eMoney, I want you to get on the client portal. And this son was one of the top hackers at VeriSign. And he went to his son and said, look, my advisor wants me to get on this system, and I'm not too sure about it. The son tried for months and was never able to do anything. And in 16 years, nothing's ever happened. A very important note, bottom left, most of our government is actually still 128-bit encrypted. We're 256-bit encrypted. And actually, a lot of your online banking systems are still only 128-bit encrypted. trying to find your information in here would be like trying to find one piece of sand on miles of beach. So we take it very seriously. Even though you can't move money, buy, sell, trade on e-money, we treat it as though if it were a transactional site. Does that make sense? This is a hot topic. Please ask any questions. We have a great video about it as well. But I can tell you, I was in a very large RIA in Milwaukee, again traveling through snow on Monday. I flew in Super Bowl evening and went to a very large RIA, duly registered CPA firm that's starting up with us. And as I was talking about this, their head compliance person hadn't really heard my spiel on security. And we were doing a launch party for it. And she was just smiling and shaking her head like, this is great. She said, and she raised her hand and she reiterated, do you realize that the federal government in many cases is still 128-bit encrypted? So she's like, you guys are doing it right. Yes, sir.
How many trillions did you say?
SunGuard takes care of 15 trillion, basically the equivalent of the debt right now, the national debt.
And
It's about 15 trillion.
who underwrites the insurance?
We have multiple different insurance companies behind the scenes helping protect on that as well. Yep, we take out insurance and everything, absolutely.
And do you actually see the account, like if you go
No.
into- you don't see the account?
We don't
identity?
see account numbers, everything. We might see the last 3 to 4 digits, but a lot of stars at the beginning.
Okay.
And as soon as it comes over, you guys are able to clean up that data and just call it Mike's IRA, Bill and Judy's joint account. That way all that information is.
They don't see that.
No,
or anything.
no account numbers show, can't buy, sell, trade, nothing of that
Social
nature.
security
I could actually go steal mail out of your mailbox and I will easily get way more information than I would from in here. Socials, no. Nope. Yep. We also have a very mobile-friendly site, whether we like it or not. This is kind of here to stay, and it seems like every week there's a new version coming out. But they would, if you choose to do so, you don't have to access it this way, but we're all about access. I can tell you, I'm constantly looking at, I don't read a physical newspaper anymore. So just know that change is happening. Many of you probably have iPads and tablets and you're communicating with kids and grandkids that way. Not saying that you should, but just know that there would be mobile functionality if you chose to log in this way. You don't have to, it's just available for you. Yes, ma'am.
What could that error be?
Oh, this error up here?
No?
Up here?
Yeah.
So what happens with eMoney is we would take your credentials that you've logged in with here. So Fifth Third Bank, I log in as, bfry password 1. A month later, I choose to change my password for some reason or another, or many banks, as you guys know, force us to change on a regular basis. If I forget to change it in eMoney, it doesn't intuitively know that I've changed that password. It's going to ask me to fix it here. So that's typically what happens. We will ask you to do that. Yep. So good question. When getting started on this site, many of us have trained the folks at Carnegie on how to use it. However, we do have tour guides throughout the entire area. This is our little gal, Danny. She's very big in the Philadelphia area as an actress, but she's been an amazing spokesperson for us for a long time. She's sprinkled throughout the app in case you guys did want to start adopting this and utilizing it. You can see her throughout the site where she can walk through and help you on how to get up and going on the system. But again, any issues you guys have, that's something that we could hop on a call with the advisor and you guys together if need be, but this tour guide will really get you up and going on the platform.
Under the spending,
Mhm.
which is where I would imagine you do things like manage your credit card purchases.
Yes.
Does it have a similar functionality to say Mint where you can split out, you can split a purchase?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it really only so I can categorize
Yep.
But can I also split a purchase? Like, say if I go to Target.
Yes.
Sometimes I want to say prescriptions and I want to say household.
Patio furniture, whatever you want to do. Yep.
Okay.
You absolutely can. You can split it, I think, as many as 3 different ways. Absolutely. We added that feature about a year ago. And you can create a rule too, like, you know what, E-Money, every time Kroger comes over, just call it groceries every single time, no matter what. Even if I bought, I mean, some of these super Krogers now have patio furniture in them and stuff like that. But you can teach it rules, or you can do whatever you want on that.
Do I have to use the rule, or because Mint started becoming intuitive, where if I go to Target, it automatically puts it in a category. I didn't have to go
Right.
place a rule.
Yep. When it comes over, the very first time, if you don't like the way we called it, we do a pretty good job categorizing. You do it once, you never have to do it again.
Okay.
Say, please always call it this, and then we're done. Yep. That's a really good question. Yep. And again, this would be an area that you can keep completely private. There are many advisory firms that are active in this process. If you wanted to share it with them, it is up to you to do that. You would have to do that up in the settings and the privacy area. Another nice area that I just hopped on real quick that you guys probably saw, you can set alerts for yourself. These alerts only go to you, and you can see how diverse they are. What if a large expense hit? You know, a lot of times people are worried about, I can tell you that many clients hop on this portal because they're worried about identity theft. Do you want to continue to log into multiple different places, or come to one spot and instantly see if something unusual happened? So this is a really good way to do that. And then of course there's more investment activity ones here, and then even reminders. We can even allow you guys to set your own types of alerts for yourself for birthdays, anniversaries. So we do have a little bit of Outlook calendar kind of reminder stuff as well. Okay? So those are built in. Any additional questions? Yes, sir.
Is this proprietary for any particular browser or operating system?
It is friendly. It is in the cloud, so it's very friendly on any of the most recent browsers, whether it be Internet Explorer, Firefox, Chrome. We hear that because Internet Explorer likes to send out updates that are really, really crazy, we inevitably fix the bugs, but Chrome and Firefox are our most friendly that we hear. But it does work on any of them as long as it's...
Mozilla?
Yes, ma'am.
That's-
That's
Yes.
Firefox, that's,
Yep.
so the big question is if we could get the Apple browser, I can't think of which one.
Oh, yeah. Yep, all of them.
Safari.
Yep, Safari. Yep.
That's okay too?
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. Yep.
So you have an app for your iPhone is what you were showing.
And what's neat about it is it's the same URL that you go to. You would go to the same URL on Safari or whatever device you're utilizing. I see a few iPhones out there. And once you go to it, it says, would you like me to go ahead and bookmark this to your home screen? And we've taken the liberty behind the scenes to put the Carnegie app behind the scenes. So you would actually be pushing on the Carnegie app, and then you would go right into this experience. What's difficult on the app world, for you guys maybe not being programmers like I'm not, we would actually have to proprietarily build an app for every single firm that has e-money, and it just doesn't make sense. And we don't want to make it cumbersome for you to go out to the App Store when we do an update and go look for it and update it. So with making it mobile browser friendly, we can push updates automatically while you're sleeping, and you always have the freshest version, but it looks exactly like an app every single time. And you can actually set it to where you still log in with your username and password, or it will actually ask you if you want to start utilizing a PIN as well.
So are we supposed to be able to find e-money advisor on?
In the App Store? No, ma'am. We used to, again, for that reason. It would be the URL, and that'll be something that Gary and the team can share with you. Because again, we brand it for every single firm. It's their own unique URL. Okay. Gary, was there anything else that you wanted me to make sure to hit on here it's kind of the
Yeah, no,
portal.
I don't think so. You know, some of the things that, just to know the capabilities, if you know, if we get more involved with, on a financial planning basis,
Mhm.
there's a tremendous amount of, you know, tools that both we would use internally, that behind the scene, but also, you know, we can present to you. So I think you touched on that, you know, from the general perspective.
Excuse me, maybe we should all have a chance to use it and maybe then we can come back.
Absolutely.
It's the greatest way. I mean, it costs you nothing. Again, whether we like it or you're already doing this today in some way. You're just logging into every website separately. The way that we help the advisor and client relationship, there's truly no tool like it. There's a lot of apps like Mint out there. A former advisor, I would just be afraid for my clients to use it because it does clearly state that they can share your data. We don't do that. We have no reason to upset the advisor and client relationship. So I'm always cautious when free apps were purchased for multi-millions of dollars by the former Intuit CEO. Again, nothing against it. It's a great app. But we really want to strengthen that relationship and just know that your data is very important to us and we have no reason to harm that. Just be careful with those apps out there. They're really good. They're really solid. They've done an amazing job. But give this a shot. You can't even upload your stuff right from Mint into eMoney. In the organizer, there is an add button where you can pull that information right in, even from QuickBooks as well. So if you just typed Mint, that capability would show up right here.
It'll pull in all the transactions and everything?
I don't know how far back in history. Every connection's built a little bit differently, but it would, I believe most of them go back at least a few months.
Question, go back to that main screen.
Yes, sir.
Now, when you have investments there, if I click on investments,
Mm-hmm.
down, well, either place,
Oh, okay. Did you want me to click?
down over to the left, bottom left. It's-
Oh, okay, yes, right here.
If I click there, now will that go out if I have an account at Schwab? We'll give it the login, it goes and updates that totals. Like if you have multiple accounts, will it have, these are all multiple accounts?
Yep, these are all broken down. It's literally a living, breathing digital statement of all your accounts all at once. And yeah, to answer your question, they would take care in-house here to connect to everything that they already manage for you. So you would only have to help on the system to connect to everything that they don't manage. That's where you would come into play out here on the accounts level. But again, in the investments, this would be any of the accounts that I've, either they're managing here at Carnegie or that I've connected.
So those accounts that we manage at Carnegie, we would still need their,
No.
we
can
through the,
securely, we can utilize the credentials that they utilize to manage and pull those over at a secure level.
the Carnegie users?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Because they obviously can see what they're managing for you on a daily basis. We have a very secure connection on the backside to help to pull those in.
So if I clicked on your top account there, would it show me all the investments in there then?
Yes, sir. Remember, this is a test account. Normally in my 401k, I probably wouldn't hold Apple stock, so I'm dealing with a dummy account. I don't want to be dealing with real data. But yep, it shows all of my holdings, quantities, the current price. If intraday quotes were on, it would reflect that as well. And again, I can even click on it and then allow the engine to do the investment research for me on that particular. Again, we don't want to replace your advisor. This is something that you could find on any public site. They do a really good job picking things for you, but just know that this capability is there as well if you wanted to come out and take a peek at that. And I can do that on an investment by investment level, literally clicking on each and every one, and it would update all those holdings. I would be able to see my allocation pie and so on.
How about your cost basis and unrealized gains and losses?
That's what I'd like.
Yep, there are some connections. Remember, aggregation tools, they rely a lot on that institution and how.
Like Schwab, you could go on Schwab right now and see your gains and losses.
Correct. So again, it all depends on what that connection has given us. So what happens behind the scenes is we talk to those institutions and say, this is the data that we want to pull securely at night at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning while everyone's sleeping. Are you okay with this? There are some that will give us cost basis and some that don't. What's neat about this system is you can still override it, and with the help of them, they could go in and enter that for you as well. We are not a true performance reporting tool. We don't have a performance engine behind the scenes. So we really just show value change. We leave it up to the advisor and whatever tools that they are using. So whatever they're still using today on the performance reporting side, still rely on that.
But you won't see that through here.
Correct. It would just show account value change. Now, what's neat is they could send those performance reports right into your vault at any time of the day for you. And we're working on future integrations where that could be smart and go over automatically, securely, but we're not there yet. So just know that eMoney is really a value change system. If you took out a $50,000 withdrawal, it's going to show a drop in value, okay, but not relate the...
The thing that would be most handy is or somehow to get the cost basis in there.
Cost basis can be put in there, absolutely, and again, most of our connections pull that. I just caution that, again, we do have some companies that don't like to play nice in the sandbox, but you can easily go in and override at the advisor level and help to enter that information in, without a doubt.
But Schwab would provide it.
And I believe Schwab does, Fidelity does, most of the higher institutions do. Just know that we, again, have to rely on what they give us. I'm 99% sure they do.
And do they adjust those cost bases when there's buyouts and splits and all that stuff?
You can easily manually go in. We again don't do that because we don't know the true calculations behind the scenes of all the different buys and sells,
Like the Schwab-
dividends.
Will Schwab
We'll always get the constant feed from them. So as long as they push it over the data feed, we will absolutely get that.
Schwab doesn't show it readily. You have to run a little thing that says, if I'm not mistaken, unrealized.
You just have to
gain.
click.
Yeah, I know,
That's
but
right.
it's not in the main screen.
No, but it's-
Yeah, you have to run it.
pretty easy.
Yeah.
And we're not looking to, we've never preached for 16 years to replace, number one, anything that the advisor's doing. What eMoney does is saves you time in the day, gives you peace of mind that I can easily, in a few clicks of a mouse, see really my entire financial life in a quick snapshot. We're still going to have the tools from your advisory firm that are solid, reliable, and still going to provide better, but this is just that great one-stop shop that when I'm on vacation and I'm playing golf and I want to quickly see it, or I'm going to see my kids or grandkids and I'm at the airport, or I wake up in the morning and drink my cup of coffee. I need the comfort to see everything I own. Yes, sir.
Is there any way to do this? I do it on a spreadsheet now. Is go back in time and look at what my net worth was at the beginning of the year and what is it today? And should I be happy or sad?
Yeah.
Hopefully
happy.
On a spreadsheet, I have to keep
Yeah.
track of it. And that's the one thing that you can't get anywhere.
So what's
Offer
beautiful,
them-
about eMoney is we do have a net worth history report. However, if you haven't been on eMoney yet, if they haven't put you in here, we don't have any history on you yet. So the day that you connect into eMoney, you're born in our eyes. Your account might have been opened in 1976 or what have you. So we're going to continue to track that. You can actually have Carnegie send you net worth history reports on a regular basis and put them in your vault, and they timestamp the day that happened. But our net worth history report is real. You can look at your net worth every single day, no longer manually. But again, looking back at 80 whatever, our system doesn't know to do that.
Report at the end of the year, what was it at the beginning, what is it now? Or
Yep.
Month by month.
You can easily do that. There are a lot of firms that utilize this technology and take reports and shoot them over into their vault on a regular basis, so you can see how you can.
I'm saying, if I was a customer of yours for 2 years.
Yep.
And I suddenly say, what was it 3 months ago? Can I run a report?
We're not a backward-facing system unless you told that
Okay, so you
report to.
can't do that.
You physically have to tell that report, go into the vault. You'd have to save it.
Okay, that,
So right now, you can't click on net worth and show what it was before.
So we do have a year-long report. So if we go into reports here and go into net worth history or net worth, okay? I can go into the net worth statement number 1. This is a very simple, straightforward report, as you can see. So that's taken today. It's up to date every single day. Now, if you saw on the menu, I also have a net worth history. This will show us a snapshot for a year, and I can see what it is on that month, but we take that snapshot at a particular period of time. But it does go back a year in time for you. Now, again, if you wanted to tell the system, take me back 3 years in September, the system's not quite that intuitive unless someone physically took that report and put it into the folder. Something that we're working on, past historical reports, but right now this is your best bet at one, that it will go back a year in time on a month-to-month basis.
but you can't break down that report any more than that.
No, sir.
Could you save
Simplify.
that report in your vault?
Yep, absolutely.
So then you could do it each year and then have a multi-year.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Any of these reports, you can click the little web print button right here and save it right into your vault without a problem. So I can print it. It's probably trying to find a printer that I'm not connected to, but you get the idea. Okay.
How did you save that report to the vault?
I did in that particular case. I would have had to save it to my desktop and then drag it over right into the vault. And I can pick what folder I want it to go to. So you can put it in a report folder or put it in a balance sheet folder or net worth history or what have you. Future forward, again, we are looking for more smarter ways to do that. Again, we aggregate about $1.7 trillion on the system, so clients are actively using. Typically who we see on the system are engineering type folks, physicians, doctors, business owners, high net worth individuals, mass affluent, really anybody. So.
Great, thanks, Brad. Any other questions?
Yeah.
So, hopefully you see the value in this potentially, and if you want, when you do the survey, if you want to get set up, just make a note of it and I'll contact you to go through that process. And then maybe we'll have it back on
Yeah.
a sunnier day.
Yeah.
So, thanks again.
Thanks, everyone.